How to create an efficient practice routine. Well, part of that is managing your time, obviously. But for me, what I do with my students is I try to get them to create multiple shapes. I get them to throw it straight and hard, I get them to hook it, and then I get them to slow hook it, and everything in between. And what this does for my students is it makes them more versatile, which gives them more options on different oil patterns. After that's done, I get them to shoot spares for about 30 minutes. Last but not least, when you can, try to bowl on a really tough oil pattern.
Maybe the ones we've had today would just suffice so far.
Yeah, how about both?
So here's how we started. Wes Malott versus Rhino Page, and the big nasty moved on to take on Tom Doherty. Close match there. Now Norm Duke, the Hall of Famer, defeats his good buddy Malott 214 to 195. And here we go. I got to think, Randy, right now that every bowling center around the country and every sports bar in there is beyond capacity to watch what I think and feels like a heavyweight title fight, even though physically they aren't heavyweights.
I think it's the greatest matchup of this season. You know, you saw the graphic there, the stepladder finals, only 200 games thus far. But you've got one of the greatest of all time, top 5 easy, whose time has kind of come and gone, except in his mind.
Right. Good
Going
point.
up against the #1 player in the world. I mean, this is a dream matchup.
Yeah, we can't wait for this one, and it's coming at you next. And oh, by the way, one of these guys throws the 300, they're going to win $1 million. PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. They may stay on their feet for this one. Norm Duke and Jason Belmonte for the championship here in Indianapolis. And Belmo's had an interesting last couple of weeks, partner.
Well, he's been truly amazing, in my opinion. There's his win at the TSC. He needed that mark to beat E.J. Tackett. And that tied him with Earl Anthony and Pete Weber for 10 majors all time. And then he had a chance to stand on top of that list alone, and he left 2 pocket 710s to lose to Anthony Simonson. By the way, Anthony Simonson bowled an amazing game against Jason. And here he is back again. As you see, just a slight age difference.
You got to do a tail of the tape for this matchup. Years pro, of course. Duke in his 37th, Belmo in 11. Looking for title number 20. Duke for number 39. Somebody tosses a 300 today in this game. It's $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think this is the matchup that everybody wanted to see. And all of America pulling for this man, in my opinion.
The 9th pin that he didn't get before. He kicked that one aside, and a perfect start for Duke.
Can Norm manage his emotions? And that's the big question. Harder to do when you're 54 than it is when you're 34.
And Belmo, who might have gone home to Australia had he won last week, but when he didn't, he added this to his schedule. Oh, now that is filthy.
That is. And you know what's so great about this game and this sport is it takes all different shapes and sizes. Both players play in the lanes completely different. As you see, Belmonte is curving it. Norm is throwing it as straight as you can throw it. And the result is the same.
And we'll see how Jason does. Again, we dual patterns here. So the pattern on the right lane is not the same as the pattern on the left lane. The pattern on the left lane is longer. So let's see what Belmo does here.
7 feet longer.
Well, he'll not get the messenger.
And he's decided to go straighter like Malott did towards the end of last game. We'll see if it works out for him on that left lane. The advantage that Norm Duke has right now is he doesn't have to figure out how to play the 2 oil patterns. He already knows how.
But Please correct me if I'm wrong. There may not be anybody better at making adjustments on the fly than that guy.
I'm not going to argue that.
Our Columbia 300 fun fact, Pete Weber and Walter Ray Williams Jr. have each won 3 times here at Woodland Bowl. 5 of the 6 wins are in majors. All 3 at PDWs and 2 of Walter Ray's.
Yeah.
And
Norm's won 4 times here. Yep. But yeah, Walter Ray, Pete Weber, Norm, they own this center.
It's good. Oh, yes. That's one powerful feather.
Referring back to how I said, and if you look at just how slowly the ball is rotating out of his hand, and that's what I mean by feathering it. You take a look at what he did here in 2008 at the World Championship. He was kind of feathering it then, but had a little more on it. Again, that was 11 years ago.
In 2011, he won his last televised singles title. You see what he's done here at Woodland with his buddy Wes Malott, who he just dispatched to get to this championship match. Oh, those are just gorgeous shots. Every one of them so far. It's like he zip lines them in there.
As long as he keeps his composure and doesn't look too far down the road, he should be fine. The only thing he needs to avoid is getting too fast. But he's just really piping it right at the 1-3 on both lanes.
Incredibly, this is the first time these two have faced each other on television. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, take a look at how he's playing the 2 lanes. Remember, the right lane's the shorter pattern. And he's actually now deeper on the right lane and curving it more than he is on the left lane. Which, by the way, makes perfect sense to us back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, on a shorter pattern, you always stood farther left and curved it more. And on the longer patterns, you stood farther right, went straighter because the ball went straighter. Not in today's game. They do just the opposite.
Absolute raw power that time from Belmo. 3 strikes out of 4, but he still trails because Norm is 3 for 3.
Well, that got down the lane in a hurry, and it was just a full rack attack once the ball got to the pins. And we've got ourselves a fight on our hands.
This is what we wanted. We kind of wanted this match to begin with. We've got it. And they're off to a great start. A little bit through the face. Didn't get a break on that 9-pin.
Yeah, either the 4 or the 9, but not both. Not a good break. That's a pocket split for Duke as he comes up just a pinch high. A good break, he would have tripped both the 4 and the 9 out, but instead, now he's got to slide the 4 into the 9.
Well, this has a 19.6 conversion rating.
He's going to try to get his ball over into this part of the 4 pin and throw it into the 9.
He can do it.
If you don't like this, you don't like bowling, turn the channel. Norm Duke had his best at age 54. Watch this, he knew he had it. Great conversion to maintain his lead by one of the best that's ever laced him up on the PBA Tour. That man right there, Norm Duke.
Belmo looking for his 20th title. Duke is 39th. He likes it, and he should like it.
Bad break on the right lane, nice break on the left lane for Norm Duke. He just looked at Belmonte and said, I got to grab that ball. He's probably going to fix the piece of cork that he's got in the thumb hole. He uses this cork insert, and there he goes with the bevel knife. He's going to move the cork around, and that's been his mantra forever. You see it.
What does that do for him?
It's a feel thing for him. He loves feeling that cork in the front part of his thumb. As we take a look at Belmonte's arsenal, High Road Nano.
give me a thesaurus because I'm out of adjectives.
Well, Belmonte just threw that shot, turned around and said, I'm not done yet.
No, not clearly. And I think, is he the first guy to use the same ball in both lanes today?
He's using the same type of ball, but
okay.
It looks like two different layouts.
Gotcha. Both these players can be deliberate.
Yeah, just a pinch inside. He knew it. Just a little bit. And what makes this guy so dangerous, aside from the speed and the power, is he can play all angles. He can change rotation.
He can change speeds too, right?
Change speeds.
Yeah.
Now, Norm Duke can do the same thing at half the rev rate, at half the RPMs.
Our proprietor here is a Hall of Famer in the PBA, Jim Doty.
Yeah, inducted this year. Congratulations to Jim, and it's been a pleasure being able to come to his great facility over the years. And speaking of great, this guy can double up and increase his, take a 9-pin lead.
That 7-pin to do just that.
Belmonte knows he's in a fight with one of the greatest ever. Norm Duke, one of the greatest clutch players ever.
Belmo had to expect it. He had to know that Norm was going to give everything he had here.
Well, he watched the game against Malott and saw that Norm didn't miss the pocket from the third frame on, and he knew that Norm was going to have a good look.
Belmo won the position round. And the right to be the #1 seed. Oh boy, that is a level above flush. What a thrill this has to be for the people who are here to see these two guys absolutely just throwing every uppercut they have in the book.
I mean, yeah, what about me? What a thrill for me.
But you've done it.
Yeah, but I mean, to call this again.
I know, you're right. I agree.
I'm with you. To call another match for Norm Duke?
Yeah.
We're going to call matches for Belmonte. How many times are we going to get to see Norm Duke bowl for a title against the greatest player on the planet in Jason Belmonte?
Utterly evil in a good way.
You're right. You know what was interesting is when we interviewed Norm Duke last night, we asked him who the greatest bowler of all time is. And he said, unequivocally, without question, without a doubt, Jason Belmonte.
Really? Well, the variety that you just touched on, what is available in Belmo's arsenal.
You know, and there's a couple of players that would beg to differ with Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Earl, but he may end up being the best ever. Take a look at what he's done in February.
Yeah, Marshall, Kent, Wes Malott are the only guys to make match play in every event they have bowled in this month. But you see Jason has a 1,245 pin advantage on Kent and over 1,400 on Malott. Yeah. It's just uncanny. Gotta have it. Messenger let him down. He usually gets those bounces of the head pin.
Unfortunate. And you're right, he usually carries just about 95% of those messengers that come across. But we saw it last week with the two pocket 710s, and this time the same thing as the pin goes behind the 10.
How many times have we seen that pin just race over as if it's destined to take out the 10 pin? Well, Norm Duke is sitting ever closer to number 39.
That was a good one. Oh, that was a good one.
Big shot coming up for Duke. He can extend his lead to 29. Max score for Duke, 278. 239 for Belmonte. Duke knows exactly what he needs to do for title number 39. And two players in the history of our sport have won 40 or more titles, Walter Ray and Earl.
Still some hope for Belmo. And you're going to watch the ball go right by again?
Well, and speaking for myself, this is the last pin you want to see standing when your ball goes high flush.
I didn't want to say it.
Oh, my. And that was working on a three-bagger. What a terrible break.
Uh-oh, Norm. Earlier in the day, Rhino Page got stuck on that approach, and watch this athleticism.
Well, he's got to stay behind the foul line on both lanes. This lane here and the one next to him as he comes towards us. Again, the agility of a gazelle at age 54. Soon to be 55.
Yeah, next month.
One strike. One strike, come on.
His max is now 257. There's a break he got. Beautiful. 6 wrapping down the 10. Well, Jason pretty much has to just punch out here, right?
Well, Belmonte can strike out for 239, but he can't shut out Norm Duke. Norm Duke can still shoot 257, even with that lousy solid 8 in the 8th frame. But Belmonte knows that he needs to put the pressure on Duke. If he strikes out, he forces Duke to get the first strike in the 10th frame.
And on this lane, Jason has been perfect.
Yeah, they all look the same on
Yes,
that
they
lane.
do.
6 going to the sidewall lane, cut the 10 in half. But he's had trouble on this lane striking.
Now, he's only had 1 strike on this lane. There you see the 6, kick saving a beauty on the 10.
What is going to happen? Boy, is this reminiscent of last week where he needs to fill the 10th frame. Last week he needed a double and 8 to shut out Simonson. He leaves the pocket 7-10. Now he needs to strike out to force Duke to get the first strike.
Everybody's heart rate in here a little accelerated right now. Nope, that's going to be trouble for Jason. You can see it right away. That was going to dive. He was almost better off if the thing had gone to Brooklyn.
It was inside a target, and that's in the driest part of the lane. Remember where all the players started early? That's exactly where that was. He needed to be right of that laydown area.
Yep, you got a great look at that little chop. Did not expect that reaction. Gotta make it. Yep. That's textbook right there for Belmo.
Well, that's 219 max with a strike, and Duke would need 2 pins in the 10th frame. And I think he could probably handle that.
I'm looking at Norm there as much as I'm looking at Belmo, and I think it's starting to sink in.
Excuse me, I said 2, I meant 7.
Still like his chances.
There you go.
Wow. Well, that's the best possible close for Belmo. But at 219 is likely not going to be enough as he thanks his fans. He'll head home for a little rest. And this guy is on the doorstep of number 39.
Turning right down the middle.
There it is. Norm Duke has done it. Norm Duke, for the 39th time, is a champion on the PBA Tour.
Amazing.
He said it, I'm going to win again on the PBA Tour, and he has done it at 54 and 11 months.
Against the world number 1. Just amazing.
What a performance, what a performer. When you turn on the TV lights, there's hardly been anybody better in this game than that man right there. What was the poundage on those balls he toted this week?
Over 6,000 pounds.
the winner right there. Probably felt like 6 pounds to him now.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Happy birthday, Mother. I missed you. Hi, Karen. Hi, Brandon. Look. Oh. Oh. How big a moment. How much work. Holly, thank you. Tom Laskell, thank you. Cecil Scarborough, thank you very much.
Yes, there
thank
is.
you for helping me. And Storm, thank you, Storm.
There is crying in bowling.
Yeah!
There you go. Pass it around. Norm Duke, your champion for the number 2 seed position. Now, go ahead, fellas. Don't be shy. You don't get to hold a championship trophy very often. Kimberly is standing by with our winner.
I am, and you are having a very emotional day, Norm, and for good reason. You said at the top of the show you didn't know if you were ever going to make it back to the TV finals, and here you are at 54, standing in the winner's circles. Put in the words what this means.
First of all, I would like to say to Jason, man, we've been watching you just dominate us, and we've had some of these matches where you lead by a lot and lose, but look, it hurts and we know it. I've been there. Hats off to Jason Belmonte. He's the very best in the world right now, and for me to be standing here on this approach is a victory against him. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I got so much support from people at home that think that I'm younger than I am.
Did you ever think that you would be back here again?
Yeah, oh yeah, I thought so. And you know, Storm has been behind me the whole time. They provide the greatest equipment, and without them, look, there's a lot of people that have a hand in things like this that allow us to go and dedicate so much to the cause, and I'm just so thankful to everyone.
And where does this win rank in all your titles?
I don't even know. I don't even, you know, you say title, I don't even process that yet. Well, I do now.
Well, it is your 39th title. Congratulations. You fought hard for this win, Norm Duke.
There's your champion.
Thank you.
And I think this one does feel a little bit different, Randy.
There's Big Wes.
Who he defeated earlier did Duke, but you see the friendship and the respect and even the love between these two guys who have won together. And this time they were taking at each other. Duke won that one and then defeated the top player in the world, Jason Belmonte.
Dave, I got to tell you, this is pretty good stuff.
By the way,
I've known Norm Duke for a long time, over 35 years, and
I have 4 banners in this building.
it's his 5th win in this building.
In this building, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the best ever.
And proves it one more time for all of us. What a thrill this was. Our next telecast of the PBA's live next Sunday, March 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern will be at the Hijinks Family Entertainment Center in Jonesboro, Arkansas for the Go Bowling PBA Jonesboro Open. That's live next Sunday on FS1 and on the Fox Sports app. We had a stunning 5 major champions, the top player in the world, and one of the legends of the game, and it's the legend who ends up on top. Norm Duke wins his 39th title. Thanks to our scorekeeper, Mike Edwards, and to everybody here at Fox for all of their help today and our crew. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler,